Yo, like this video for a chance to win one of our free t-shirts. And be sure to follow me on Amino at Moliminous for more content that's not on the channel. I know this is dumb. This is really dumb, but I can't get over how flat this communicator looks. I get it, it's a toon boom or flash animated, whatever you want to call it, but this is DC, big billionaire DC. You're telling me the shots like this get greenlit for the opening scene? Funny joke that starts off kind of cute but goes on entirely too long. Ironically, you could actually say that that's exactly what Teen Titans Go is. But it's the canned burp. Fart and burp jokes, I know, are like the staple of the show, but come on. Wait, we still weren't done with the intros? 2 minutes and 30 seconds of actual intros, even for a superhero movie, that's a bit much. By the way, that intro completely spoils the entirety of the movie. I mean everything, even small jokes that are thrown away later. It's not even like they're copying and pasting from later scenes. They made a conscious effort to reanimate all of this just for this intro.
I am the Gentleman Ghost. Splendid! Now I must run. I have other robbery appointments today, and a gentleman must keep to his schedule.
What exactly does the ghost want with money in the first place? He's a ghost. Heck, he doesn't even have a face. Which doesn't make sense. Why does he not have a face, but he has clothes? Did his clothes die with him? Are his clothes a separate ghost entity?
Keep to his schedule.
It's the Teen Titans.
That's right.
Polite language does not excuse the doing of the crime.
They apparently heard him talking way before they even got there, because why not? I'm honestly sure that this is the least offensive, weird, nonsensical thing in this movie.
Yeah, if you want money, you have to do what we do and mooch off Robin.
No, he shouldn't do that. And you really shouldn't do that either. But
Robin mooches off of Batman. I think. Either that or Titans are funded by the Justice League, which is in turn funded by Batman and the taxpayers, which means all this goofing around that they do is literally fed from the taxpayers' dollars. Did they just kill that woman? We never see her again, and she's the only one behind that desk where they shot rockets and magical beams and exploding boomerangs.
That is exceedingly annoying!
then you'd better surrender, because we can be annoying all day.
That is extremely true.
I would like to second that.
True, just look at the Cartoon Network time schedule.
So what's it gonna be?
Well...
And the money's gone from the scene, magically only to reappear later.
excuse me, pardon me, coming through.
I know stopping crime is a good thing and all, but the amount of money he stole is, what, $1,000? He cleared out one register of a single bank teller. Didn't bother hitting the vote or anything else, despite that later being told that that's his specialty. In fact, it's so little money that the police never even bothered to show up, something we know that they do since in the last movie they were out in force.
The gentlemanly thing to do.
Get him!
This infant body is weak.
That's a second old woman they beat or injured. This is supposed to be the hero group. This is the group we want to see win. Robin loses at least 8 teeth. It might as well be like a Baki reference with how easily teeth are pulled out or punched out and how fast they regrow in this show.
Ooh, my specialty. Perfect.
You didn't unlock it. You just went through it. That's not really a specialty, more like cheating.
Oh my.
A single touch breaks it. What great security for something that's protecting her from becoming a demon and consuming everything. I've seen enough Zonton flashes to know exactly where this is going. I love the Teen Titans, and I really love Raven, but there are so many other storylines that could be done in the movie. Does everything Teen Titans related have to come back to being about Raven and her dad?
What if I told you I could remove your demon altogether? Then we both can have something we've always wanted. I'll be out of your hair forever, and your powers will be mine to use.
So she gets to be human, in a world where you take over and destroy everything. Secret VR training in the middle of the living room, the place where most people hang out.
Is this some sort of cheat code? I don't understand.
Now, VR doesn't make it so that you can't feel what's going on around you. This isn't full body dive, and you can see that because he has a controller. I'm pretty sure he can feel Cyborg grab him.
Yes, you did!
There have been like 5 explosions in the last minute. How short do they think children's attention span is?
If these readings are correct, something is breaking into our universe from another Earth.
No, you don't get to just pull Crisis on Infinite Earths references out of your asshole without actually earning it or even following through on that concept.
Welcome, heroes. Welcome
To my arena. Who are you? Call me
the master of games.
Can we be honest here for a second? How many of you are actually ever excited when you see this? This whole War World scenario, we've seen this done so many times now, where you either fight your clone or you fight other heroes or other villains. We have seen this be done through TV, movies, video games, and flash animations on Newgrounds. At what point does this just become a stale meme? Also, seeing as Master of Games was already defeated in the original Titans world by Robin and the crew, it doesn't make sense that they don't have a vague concept of what he's pretty much after. I get it, they say that they're waiting to see what his plan is, but they should know about what his plan is, because it was before taking the loser's powers and adding it to his own. And now that I'm thinking about it, this is the cartoony Master of Games, but he should have similar powers to the pseudo-anime version, so he shouldn't need someone to physically abduct people. So this scene with Titans fighting themselves just to get them aboard the ship doesn't make a lot of sense.
Haven't we seen them before?
Their Robin is so handsome.
Look at those guys. So tall and such big hands.
I know this is supposed to be the original Teen Titans, but it looks like some sort of Flash version of the show, which is, again, probably how all of this is animated anyway.
You ruined my childhood.
The fandom in a nutshell.
All they are. See? He's like 5 heads tall. Now look at your short self. 3 heads, tops.
That's actual art theory being snuck in as a meta joke that is the reason why I love this series, but sadly goes unnoticed by people like the Brony and the Stance, who simply want to hate on the series. For that, I'll take away a cent.
Calm down, guy. This is all just a silly game to you guys, isn't it?
Because Cyborg shooting rockets from his back isn't a cartoony thing for him to do at all, and he's still the serious version that we all remember.
I spent a lot of time battling my own inner demons. This is kinda annoyingly literal. Yeah, tell me about it.
Raven has claws for fingers, apparently. I'm not sure if the animators are just being cheeky or if this is really how lazy they got.
Oh, I spent a lot of time battling my own inner demons. This is kinda annoyingly literal. Yeah, tell me about it.
You have literally battled your inner demons multiple times. There is an entire arc of you doing so.
Time to bring out the big guns.
Again, They're supposed to be serious versions of themselves, but he just used the water balloon to defeat him. That's all power from a single finger. Exactly how is she not the most powerful of all the Titans?
Little guy, look at him. Now you got some whale in your face, fool! Ouch!
And that's him dead. There's no way he survived that.
Really, dude?
Did they have to make the tentacles wet and lubed? Again, I've seen enough Zone to know exactly how this ends. And considering that she worked on OKKO Let's Be Heroes, I'm not putting it past her to have actually worked on this show.
I think he best take Hoosh Plinthor Shepdek Rufus Minnerlip Russeldorf.
Those all sound like words.
It took me a while, I'll admit, but I'm pretty sure this is a reference to Starfire's made-up words that would be used in the original Titans, or some other meta thing. Pretty much, the Go versions are meta, and I love it. And while I may be biased, I am 100% removing a sin, simply for the fact because I can.
Mostly.
What's up with the one leg? Tripod.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Tripods have 3 legs, not 1. Even if you count the 3 limbs, that's still a little bit of a stretch, because everyone refers to the legs of a tripod as just that, the legs. You could have actually made a joke saying monopod, which is a real thing and would have actually worked.
Once her demon is fully drained, Big Tricky here will regain all his power. And then using his Whirlagog, we will conquer the multiverse together.
So his plan is to supercharge the original Trigun, but surely he knows that Trigun is like him, right? And would never actually share his power, making it far more likely that he'll eventually just turn on him too.
We'll save Raven after we get off this thing! Cyborg, save the baby versions of us!
Again, the serious version just roped all of them at once with a single shot.
Everyone okay? Everyone who counts, I mean?
He survives this.
Our teams must work together. Perhaps our point will make more sense through the singing of the songs.
And cue the necessary song that is found in every single animated movie.
We are different from each other, no doubt about that. Go look at low budget, designs are flat.
And I need to ask, this was an issue in the last movie. Why is everything 80s themed? Especially when related to music. The original Teen Titans that most people grew up with came out in like 2003, so it just seems weird that they keep on doing these throwbacks to times where most of the original fans weren't even born.
I'm Pterodine. Whoa, that's alarming!
Terra lived, though. Like, she just lost her memory. That's the huge cliffhanger that the original Teen Titans was left on. In fact, most people probably wouldn't even have too much of a problem with Teen Titans Go, and even the Young Justice versions of the Titans, if they just continued that storyline and had finished it out, so that we weren't left on such a huge cliffhanger. I mean, this was a monumental moment, and I believe this was the first time where people actually felt devastated at the show ending right at such a crucial venture. They even did a throwback to an old rap group called Crisscross, which is famous for wearing their clothes backwards. Actually 90s and not even 80s, despite the 80s aesthetic. But my point being, most people watching this who grew up with the original Teen Titans, and especially those who only know of the Teen Titans Go variety, at least watching it while it was airing, have no idea who these people are. Apparently, Green Lantern is in hell, which makes kinda sense because he isn't exactly the greatest hero and does even turn slightly evil, but still.
Of this, give me your demon, you demon!
Don't give in to him, Raven. Stay strong. I've dealt with worse.
This is the serious demon version of Trigun, shaking her, just to get her demons to come out. Also, they speak about ravens as if they're a race, and I admit I don't know the comic lore all that well for the Teen Titans, but if I don't know it, the vast majority of the audience doesn't. Which means you're kind of glossing over huge plot points that would tie this all together and make everything make much more sense.
Yo, Sai, check it out.
What are they doing?
Ask them.
What are you guys doing?
Staying sharp.
Waiting for Robin's plan.
Don't you guys ever just, kick it?
Well, yes, the OG Teen Titans actually trained a lot. They also relaxed and played games all the time. It's not like they were always serious. They still ate pizza, joked around. There were plenty of slice of life episodes as well.
Number one, we've got to figure out what to call each other. Number two, you can't just order me around. I have become parched. Procure me a soda.
Couldn't the other Trigon just created the soda himself and levitated it to him?
Santa Claus.
So they really weren't joking.
They are shocked by this, but in their universe, hell is a real place, and they routinely even go there.
Okay, thanks for nothing.
He's gone. Let's keep moving.
He is like 2 feet away. How does he not see you? Well, seeing as how Christmas is mainly celebrated in America, it makes sense for them to have so many gun-based presents.
Whoops, that didn't work. Now that's more like
The other cyborg, still part human. Shouldn't this be like destroying his body?
What are you?
Whoa!
They actually brought in Young Justice, and for some reason, got it more on mono compared to the others.
Brakes.
Somehow they got them to go back to the right Earth despite making a bunch of twists and turns and going by all kinds of other portals to other universes.
Come on, let's take that ferry to the tower. Then I'll figure out a way. Ah, nuts.
Surprised?
Is there a way for a giant demon the size of a skyscraper to hop around without them noticing?
Tommy! We made it!
Get the other Trigons!
Apparently, Trigon can now be knocked out with a singular blast. All of them surviving this, despite the Robins just being human.
But what do you want me to do? You have to eat me. What? You have to absorb my powers by eating me.
Shoots, you can eat all of them.
So it all comes down to Vor. Of course it does.
What are you supposed to be?
What? You don't know a flock of ravens when you see one? We are the unkindness.
For those of you who don't know, a flock of ravens is actually called the unkindness. So while being edgy, it's actually pretty clever. And while I'm biased, I think it's actually worth another sin removal. But I also have to point out that while Raven was blocking Trigon to begin with, he didn't once decide to just go around the 2 walls. Wasn't the last movie ending also a huge superhero team up against a giant opponent? As great as this has been, isn't this really just a reskin of the last movie?
Me and my very serious Teen Titans have to go back to our very serious world and have, I assume, very serious PG-13 adventures.
I'm pretty sure they have different voice actors, which is why they're not talking. Either that or they're too hard to animate.
Pitiful maggots of Earth, prepare to be obliterated by Darkseid and the armies of Apocalypse.
Is that Weird Al Yankovic as Darkseid? Why? Is there a cartoon gig this guy won't take?